down by number 26 here.
Colorado High School Activities Association football is on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Tonight from Wiggins High School, it's the opener of the 2019 football season as the Brush Bee Diggers take on the Wiggins Tigers. I'm John Beltran. I'll be joining Rob Hastings throughout the course of the season, as will Tyler Carmen, and already the opening kickoff taken by the Bee Diggers to the 20-yard line by Jace Krieger. And Rob, let's set it up here. The Bee Diggers have it 1st and 10 for the 20. The action is early already in this game as the Bee Diggers are in their road whites and Wiggins in their road grays with the orange pants.
Okay, Hondo Maltos Garcia under center. Little motion to the near side, underneath handoff, and that goes to Kyle Wellen. Kyle's up for about 9 yards, looks like. A little off the left side there, John.
Yeah, he's only a sophomore, too. He's going to play a critical role this season. He's going to be the number 2 back. He's 2 years younger than his brother Nick, who was an 1,000-yard rusher as a sophomore and over 1,200 yards and 16 touchdowns here in 2018.
Okay, Cade Swint here to the near side. Wellen's in the backfield and hand off to Nick, and he's got a first down and out about the 35-yard line. See where they mark it. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Bee Diggers.
That's a nice hole on the left side for Nick Wellen. Then he sees that running lane as he picked up 6 yards in the play. And you expect the Bee Diggers to shorten the game. Now during Bee Digger Blastoff, Coach Lance Schwint said that they can certainly throw the football better this year. Caden Schwint, Hondo, Maltos Garcia, Luke Seawald, Nick Wellen, Kyle Wellen, Hunter Dunn, Jace Krieger, Caden Lefevre amongst the starters, brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan.
Edgar Escalante in motion from the near side. Got a pitch coming to Kyle Wellen, and he's going to be hit down inside the 50, down to the 45-yard line of Wiggins.
And he was tripped up. If not, he could have gone all the way, but he picked up 20 yards on the play, and they just got him right there, right off the bottom of the cleat. If not, he's still running, and he would have gone 66 yards, but instead he fell 46 yards shy. We should mention there's a Denver Bronco here on the sidelines for Wiggins.
Been a little while since we've had a Morgan County Bronco, but we got another one.
Yep, Dalton Reisner.
And handoff to Nick Wellen. He's going to get about 4 yards, maybe close to 5. He'll be down about the 42 and a half.
Yeah, little dive play there, just a quick hitter there for Nick Wellen.
Give him 3 yards, I guess. So in with the play is Hunter Dunn. Hunter's 6 foot tall, 150 pounds.
He's going to play a big role in this offense this season. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Escalante to the far side. On their side, we've got Hunter Dunn. And, there's nothing doing there.
Well, Kyle Wellen was nailed on the counter. In fact, it's a loss of a couple. He was hit hard over there by Sheldon Reisner, a 6'1 senior, and he lost a yard on the play, so now it's setting up a 3rd down and 8. But the Bee Diggers didn't have the blocking scheme there as he was trying to run that misdirection to the left.
It'll be 3rd and 8 from the 44.
B&B Appliance can help you with all of your appliance needs. Stop in and see what they can do for you on Ensign Street in Fort Morgan. B&B Appliance.
Maltos Garcia under center. And there's a pass. Right through the hands of Caden Swint.
Yeah, he led him a little bit too much there at the 36, but he did get, I think, Rob, you're right. He might have got both hands on that one.
Yeah, I think his head turned just a little bit. There was a defender right there.
Well, let's see if they decide to go for it with 9:17 to go in the opening quarter. John Beltran with Rob Hastings and Tyler Carmen standing in as well.
We got Jace Krieger coming in. A little confusion here, and the Bee Diggers are going to have to call a timeout.
This is the first time that we've been at this new field calling any Wiggins game. The last time we did a game on 10-10 was the state championship game at the old field in 1999, and in fact, that's one of the series that we're working on called Championship Reflections, not only in the Wiggins Tigers Wrestling Dynasty, but on the 99 Wiggins Tigers football team. This will all land on YouTube, as well as our social media pages, and of course during 10-10 preps and more throughout the respective sports seasons. So it's Wiggins Tigers Wrestling. We've already talked to John Penfold and Joey and Eric and Levi Dias and Jeremiah Dias and Travis Lefevre and Daniel Neal, a bevy of wrestlers. It's over a 2-hour piece just on Wiggins Wrestling alone, because that was a heck of a dynasty, but we're covering 65 and 66 Wiggins boys basketball, and now the Bee Diggers have made the decision, Rob. It looks like they're going for it here on 4th and 8 from the Wiggins 44 on the opening drive of the game.
Krieger half back to the near side, well into the left side, Hondo under center. It's back to pass, big rush, and a little screen play, and Wiggins was all over that, and the ball will go over to the Wiggins Tigers.
I don't know if they came on a blitz, but I think they did, because there was one of those defensive backs in on the play, and he got a good piece of it. That was Eric Flores, a 5'8 senior strong safety, so they did come on a blitz. And I think normally that happens, is that when you're a team, especially when you lost by 7 touchdowns a year ago, you might have to change things up a bit, and you can't play brush straight up. And that was, outstanding scheme defensively. And now we're going to see what the freshman quarterback Cole Kerr can do for Wiggins.
And Wiggins heads north to our left. Cole Kerr hands it off. Not much there. Nice tackle there by Dominic Ontiveros.
Yeah, and Kerr's wearing 9 apparently, even though we had him at number 4. But
okay. I didn't look at the number. I just looked at the quarterback mark here. When it gets dark, it's going to be hard to see these numbers.
Yeah, like in Keensburg.
Or Fort Lupton. Okay, there's kind of a deep handoff out of the shotgun and up for about 8 yards.
Austin Hewa with a carry. That's an impressive carry. That was an 8-yard gain before the B-Diggers were finally in on the play. And Caden Moriarty, a sophomore, made the hit, but now it's third down and about 1.5 yards. Well, we'll call it a couple of yards to go. They've got to get to the 46-yard line of Brush. No score with 8:13 to go in the opening quarter here at Wiggins High School, the first game of the 2019 season.
Kerr sets up in a shotgun, up 7 yards deep. Got one back there with him. Lots of wide receivers. One to the near side, but it's too high. And it'll be 4th down and 2 yards for the Tigers.
Intended for Eric Flores. I think what Coach Reisner thought is that, hey, I've got an extra down to play with because they're in brush territory, so they're going to take a chance and throw the football. But keep in mind that the quarterback, Kerr, can run very well, so I wouldn't be surprised if they rely here on Cole Kerr to get the job done himself on this 4th and 2.
They set the ball down. It looks like it was about half a yard short.
It's a whole yard.
Here they go. They're going to move it back.
I still think they gave some to Brush. It's close. It should be closer to the 48.
Yeah, it was. But I've seen the side marker move, too, when they set the ball down there. Side guy's got to stay there. There's a little quick snap, and the Beat Diggers are going to stop Wiggins on the 4th down, and the Diggers will take over in their own territory at the 48.
And no surprise that the initial hit was made by Nick Wellen, and Ty Griffith, a freshman, cleaned it up for the Beat Diggers. Only a gain of, maybe 1 yard there, even though he tried to spin his way out of the tackle. To 0 there for Cole Kerr. So the Beat Diggers have it at their own 48-yard line. Just 4 minutes gone here in the opening quarter.
We'll have Hunter Dunn to the near side. Alejandro under center. Wellens in the backfield. And a pitch to the far side. That is Krieger that was in there. He's going to pick up about 3 or 4 yards. He'll be in Wiggins territory.
You seen Jace in the open field, Rob? When I saw him last year, actually he had a touchdown against Wiggins in that 4th quarter. But I saw him at the freshman level, and man, when he gets in the open field, as Krieger picks up 3 yards, he can fly. He's got some major speed.
About a 3-yard gain there. Set it down at the 49-yard line at Wiggins. 2nd down. Caden Swint to the near side. Escalante in the slot. Krieger and there goes Wellen. That was Nick this time. He's just short of the 45.
Yeah, just 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And you're right, Rob. I don't know how they can spot the tacklers here, because those uniform numbers are getting darker as the sun goes away. But anyway, the Beat Diggers now have a 3rd and very manageable 4 yards to go at the 46-yard line. You got to imagine this is again 4-down territory for Brush.
Beat Diggers in their white uniforms with the cardinal helmets, and numbers, and leggings, and the yellow pants. And Wiggins has black helmets, dark gray, and dark black numbers, orange hands. And 3rd and 4, and we got another timeout for the Beat Diggers.
Yeah, the Beat Diggers just called the first time out of the game, and it's brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, Greg Mullen and his team are there to make the insurance world easy for you. 842-4555. Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance. Evan James, who's a sophomore for Brush, is also here. He'll be assisting us with some social media coverage throughout the course of the season, with both Brush football and with Fort Morgan football. Brush football right here on 1010, as well as the Eastern Plains Sports Network, and Fort Morgan football on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. This is Brush's 2nd possession of the game. 6:26 to go. They took it into Wiggins territory, but they failed on a 4th and down, as did Wiggins, which got to the Brush 48 when Kerr tried to take it right up the gut, and he was stacked up there by Nick Wellen and stopped on that 4th down, and Ty Griffith. But now the Beat Diggers have essentially 2 plays here to get 4 yards, as they're at the 46-yard line of Wiggins.
It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Beat Diggers.
Okay, now they're getting set. Alejandro was talking to these running backs. It's Krieger and Nick Wellen. A motion to the far side. Wellen to the left side. He breaks through. He's got the first down. He'll be down to the 40-yard line. First and 10 Diggers.
Rob, there's a reason this guy was a 1,000-yard rusher each of the last 2 years. He got hit at about the 44, 43-yard line, and it's like he didn't feel the contact. And instead of a 2 to 3 yard gain, it's a 6-yard gain just shy of the 40-yard line. And Wellen now has 4 carries unofficially for 18 yards.
Okay, they switch sides this time with the Krieger on the near side, Wellen to the left side, one wide receiver to the near side. And they give it to Krieger. He'll pick up a couple, 3 yards maybe.
Yeah, he got a couple there and stacked up there by...
Got to thank Wiggins Tigers because they put numbers on the field and hash marks. That really makes it nice.
Oh, yeah, Mendez was in on the hit for Wiggins.
Just a little bit over 2 yards on that.
Yeah, at the 38, and the clock is moving. This is a fairly quick-moving first quarter, under 5.5 to go. No score, but the B-Diggers are inside the Wiggins 40.
Devon Cardenas in motion, underneath handoff, and driving forward is Nick Wellen. See where they set him down. About the 33.
Yeah, I picked up 5, and he's just running low. There he ran low. Sometimes he runs a little bit higher depending upon how he sees that hole. If he sees a big hole, he might tend to run higher, but if he sees these ongoing tacklers, particularly from the linebacking position, he'll run a little bit lower and try to gain an extra 2 yards.
Okay, Cardenas to the near side. Wide receiver clearly up, and it right up the middle. Wellen stood up. He's not going to make the 30 where they need the first down. But
yeah, he's right at the stick, but I think you're right, Rob. I think if he didn't get the first down, he's probably less than a yard from that first down, stacked up by the middle of that Wiggins defense. So just shy of the 31. They've got to get to about the 30. Now we're looking at a 4th and 1. And for the B-Diggers, they've already run 13 plays here over the first 2 drives as we're approaching the 4-minute and 10-second mark of the opening quarter. But you got to think this is well in here on a 4th and 1.
Krieger in the backfield, Escalante in motion. A pitch to the near side, and driving forward is not going to make it. Good tackling there by the Wiggins Tigers. That's 26.
Yeah, that's Flores again, and Krieger was the pitch man, and he lost 2 yards. They try to swing it wide, and automatically when you try to swing it wide, you're already losing yardage. So if the blocking is not there, and it wasn't there was nothing Krieger could do. If Nick Wellen had that ball, there was nothing he could do as well. So for the second time, the B-Diggers are stopped on downs, and now Wiggins has it 1st and 10 at their own 33 with just over 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. This is a really good start for the Wiggins defense.
And I think they actually lost a yard on that play. There's a pass to the far side, and Escalante misses a tackle. And there's going to be a first down close to B-Digger territory, about the 49. See where they mark that down, right on the 50, it looks like.
All right. Let's see, who's the receiver there they got on the list? I got
Logan Kerr.
Kurt. And who's quarterback?
Logan Kerr is
Cole Kerr.
Oh, got it. Okay,
yeah.
Forget it. It's first game. I'm losing it already.
Oh,
my bad.
Okay, first and 10.
There we go, John. You've only been doing this 20-some-odd years.
That's all right. Okay, Cole Kerr's.
Come on, John, you're better than me.
In the shotgun again. A
Barely
little
not
motion
anymore.
from the far side. And, messed up. Fumble. And a battle for it. Did the Beat-Diggers get it? I think they did.
Yep.
Inside the 40. That'll be a 10-yard loss and a Beat-Digger recovery.
Luke Seawald, that was almost a pitch handoff. It's one of those, he's so close, it looks like a handoff. It's more like a pitch. It almost qualifies for a pass, but we'll call it a fumble. And now the Beat-Diggers have their 3rd possession here in the opening quarter.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the B.
Off the first turnover of the game committed by Wiggins after that 17-yard completion. Then they go 10 yards backwards. So we're down to 3:22 to go first quarter. Still no score, but the B-Diggers are only 40 yards away from the end zone.
Krieger and Nick in the backfield. Escalante started going motion. Now he'll start again from the near side. Underneath handoff. Wellen has it for about a half a yard. Nothing doing there. Big number 70 on the stop, John.
Well, that's Muhammad Ibrahim, a 6'3 sophomore. And here's the deal, Rob, that Coach Schwinn mentioned before the game. They're replacing the entire offensive line, and you can tell that there's going to be issues here in the early going, not only in this game, but maybe certainly next week against Fort Morgan. When you have a brand-new offensive line, you're gonna have times that you don't get the blocking necessary to gain yardage, and that was the case right there. And it's 2nd and 10.
The Beat-Diggers are matched up pretty well. They've got big boys on both sides. Okay, back to pass. Looking long. Oh, nice catch there by Krieger. He breaks a tackle, breaks it into the clear. He's clear down to the 26-yard line, 27.
Yeah, gain of 13. That pass was out in the right flat for Jace Krieger. And as you mentioned, Rob, that was not thrown super well. He had to make a one-handed grab. He tipped it to himself, and the Bee Diggers have a first down inside the 30-yard line.
It was a nice play by Marcos Garcia because his wide receiver was open deep, but he went to the underneath guy and got probably the same result.
Well, yeah, I think first game he just wants to throw short, establish some confidence. He's already got 1 year under his belt, and with skill position players back, I think he feels pretty confident in those players.
Swint flex to the far side, underneath handoff, and a nice run again. Guess who? Nick Wellen. Nice hole right up the middle.
Well, he ran 3 yards forwards and then 5 more yards forwards with his back to the goal line because he was spun around, and Wellen now has 8 carries in the game unofficially for 29 yards. So he's been contained quite a bit. Remember, last year he had 17 carries for 151 yards and 3 touchdowns.
You remember way too much, Tony.
Well, no, I just did my prep for the game, Rob.
Did you?
I don't remember that much. I'll forget about that after the game, but I won't forget. If he goes for another 100 here, I'll certainly remember.
Okay, 100 down to the near side. Cardenas in motion across the field. Hand off to Wellen. Got a good block from Krieger. And he's going to be in for the first. Uh-oh, here comes a flag.
That one might come back, and it's going to be a personal foul against Wiggins. So you give him the gain of 4. And the one thing that we're seeing, Rob, is that the Bee Diggers are more successful running left than they are right. So I think that's going to be half the distance to the goal line after they tack it on, because he got to the 15 for a gain of 5. But I did not see a late hit at all.
I don't know. Somebody said a bad word or something maybe. Tyler, did you see anything? No. This is by the big guy with the white hat.
Well,
quite a ways away from it. Okay, looks like we may have a timeout here by Wiggins.
All right, at the 7-yard line, we've got 1:16 to go here on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. No score. The Bee Diggers already on their 3rd possession, and it's a fairly quick-moving first quarter. Yeah, next week we'll have Rob and Tyler on the mic with Brush takes on Fort Morgan in Fort Morgan. I mean, that's the one thing. For Brush, you go from a Class 1A team 1 week to a 3A team the next week. So as I mentioned to Coach Schwinn before the game, it's almost like starting the season over when you play one versus the other because they're 2 classifications. They're separated by 2 classifications. But Wiggins has come out. They've been pretty impressive defensively, but the Bee Diggers are knocking on the door.
Okay, Krieger and McWellen in the backfield. Cardenas flex clear out here to the near side. They're just headed south. And there's a handoff to Krieger, and he's going to bust forward. He'll be right about the 5-yard line, it looks.
No, I think he got
maybe
to the 2.
inside.
Yeah, again, the Bee Diggers are having more success running left. They had one misdirection that failed, but that gain is to about the 2-yard line, maybe the 2.5. So what do you think, Rob? Nick Wellen here?
I don't know. Keying on Wellen, Krieger running pretty good there, too. That's kind of what Coach said in the pregame. If they just go after Wellen, they're going to be in trouble. But Wellen has it, kind of stumbled. He's going to be close to the touchdown.
He's in.
Okay, I didn't see. Oh, there's the guy clear in the back is the one signal, not the...
On his 10th carry unofficially, a 2-yard touchdown run by Nick Wellen and the Bee Diggers with 30 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Lead by a score of 6-0. And now, sophomore Braxton Shelton, off the hold of Caden Schwint, will attempt the extra point. So a sophomore holder, a sophomore kicker, and a junior snapper in Jackson Dunker.
And we finally got 11 guys out there. Snap good, and it's blocked.
Well, let's see. That might be offsides. I mean, that was a heavy rush that came through, and if it's offside, Coach Schwint is either he might even think about going for 2 because that'll place the ball just past the 1.
Here comes the big guys out.
Yeah, that had to have been offsides, I would think, but no preliminary signal as of yet.
Still talking it over. Dead ball, illegal procedure on the Bee Diggers. That'll move it back to the 10.
Well, but did they call that a false start so they get a no? No fault, no. It's just, you're right.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to determine. If it's a dead ball, they get another shot here.
Did they get illegal procedure on? Well, now they're going to walk it off.
Did he point the wrong direction? I mean, illegal procedure is normally in the offense, but the offense is back out there going for 2, and it's still. All right, I don't understand what happened there. He might have pointed in the wrong direction because there's no way. All right, now it's back at the 7.
Okay,
all right, I made a brutal mistake a few minutes ago. Now I don't feel as bad because I thought 2 + 5 was 7, so this will be about a 20-yard, 25-yard extra point for Braxton Shelton.
Okay, extra point team out there, and he's going to kick it right into the back of the center, I think. was a little bit low.
Yeah, it was a low kick. We'll keep it right here with only 30 seconds to go in the opening quarter, and the Bee Diggers leading 6-0 on a 2-yard touchdown run by Nick Wellen. And, neither team has really had to go even a long distance to gain yards. They've all had pretty good field position with both drives. Well, Wiggins with their 2 drives and Brush with their 3.
Bee Diggers had a couple good runs and 1 pass.
Yeah. Yeah, again, well, in the sport of football, especially high school football, it seems that the defenses are ahead of the offenses. So now I don't know if that applies as much to 6-man football. There you could have 6-man football, Tyler. That could be a different story where that's just going to be a run and gun the whole game.
Yeah, 6-man football is a track meet with pads. That's how anybody who has played it will describe it to you for sure.
It's fun, man.
It is fun. It's fun to watch. It's fun to play.
Yeah, my first 6-man game was a state quarter semi like 3 years ago, and it's hard to get adjusted to that 1st and 15.
Yeah, but 1st and 15, 80-yard field, basically Canadian football.
Right, but I thought it was fascinating. It's a different game, but it's a fun game to watch, like you mentioned. All right.
They get some huge scores, too.
They do. They look like basketball games. They really do.
Well, I know there wasn't a 100-point game within the last 2 or 3 years by one team.
Okay, Keegan Link's going to kick it away for the Beat Diggers. Going to drop short. The receiver's got to stop, pick it up, breaks a tackle, goes off to the right side. Nice tackle there by Keegan Link. Coming from that kickoff and shut him down there, I think, short of the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that's a return of about 11 to 12 yards. So Wiggins will have one final play unless they throw the ball here with 11 seconds to go in the opening quarter, trailing by a 6-0 score. Let's see how much they air it out. I mean, they did throw that one pass from Cole Kerr to Logan Kerr that went for 17 yards.
I think we got a little confusion with the clock. They were talking about a new rule on the...
Well, I know you don't wind it yet, unless you're talking about a play clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put 25 seconds back on the clock now instead of 11.
Okay, Wiggins curves in the backfield, looking to the near side. Now he's being chased, breaks free, and a nice tackle there. And that was Ty Griffith out there, number 35.
Yep, not before a gain of 3 yards, and now we're inside of 10 seconds to go. Wiggins will not get a playoff here before the first quarter expires. We played 12 minutes of high school football in the opening game of the 2019 season. It's Brush 6, Wiggins nothing on the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Okay, welcome back to Wiggins. And it's Beat Digger football and Wiggins Tiger football. And the Beat Diggers are going to go into the second quarter, up 6-0. And the Tigers will be second down and about 7. They started at the 30, and it's kind of a slow motion play, and it's not going to go too far, maybe about 5 yards.
Well, that's that stretch play where the quarterback runs to his right. He kind of pivots to his right with a running back, and then he gives it to him at the last possible second.
It looks like they were holding the ball together.
Right. Yeah.
It's
a gain of 2, but again, I some of the numbers on the roster I've got differently, so that'll be... It's a gain of about 3. That's third down and 4 to go for Wiggins at their own 37-yard line. Bee Diggers got their lone score on a 2-yard touchdown run by Nick Wellen on their third drive of the game as nightfall is slowly descending. Still got plenty of light out here. And Wiggins already called one timeout, if I remember correctly. Nope.
The Brushes have 2.
Okay, that's their first.
Yeah.
Once again, you can check out the highlights of this game, the entire game. We'll have it uploaded on our 1010 KSIR Sports Facebook page and on Twitter at KSIR Sports. No more Bee Digger replay. We had Bee Digger replay on the air from 2014 through last season, but because of the advancement in technology, we're just going straight to social media. And then, as we've done for the past 9 or 10 years, for those who don't have social media, I'll also get that uploaded to YouTube. But the way to go immediately after the game is social media. Again, 1010 KSIR Sports on Facebook. And the on Twitter at KSIR Sports, all part of the Eastern Plains Sports Network. As Wiggins now got a pretty manageable 3rd and 4 situation, less than a minute into the second quarter. But again, at this time last year, this was like a 28-0 game. So Wiggins got to be pretty happy about what they've done so far, especially on the defensive end.
Beat Diggers got a new player in their 75, Aaron Taylor, left tackle on defense. Tigers out of the shotgun, a little pitch, kind of a reverse. And out with the tackle, nice job by Cesar Hinojos. Grabbed his arm, spun him around, and put him down.
Well, that was like a modified end around. It was a pitch, almost like the look of a reverse, and he read it beautifully, and it's a loss of 2 there as Eric Flores was thrown down to the turf and really spun to the turf.
These Krieger's going back. He's expecting a punt. It looks like they're going to set up the punt. Probably heard their Tigers is 36 with a good 4 yards to go.
Yeah, let's see what type of return gain the Beat Diggers have. This is going to be a left-footed end-over-end punt.
It's going to bounce around, and the Beat Diggers are going to stay away from it. It'll settle down at about 29-yard line.
Well, that's a good job by Krieger just letting that go. That punt goes for 34 yards, no return. And let's see if Brush can do what Brush has done for so many years, put together a nice, long, sustained drive. Although, if you get Nick Wellen in the open field, of course, I don't know if he's got exactly Krieger's speed, but Nick doesn't need a big hole. He can be a battering ram, and then he had a big, long touchdown last year against Fort Morgan for their only score of the game, and that one about 56 yards. This would be a 71-yarder if they can break it off. But again, Wiggins' defense has been very stout here over the first quarter plus, trailing only 6-0.
Seawald to tight end to the far side. Backs in the tee. Back to pass. Looking long. Out there for it is Seawald, but it's over his head. He turned, and the ball wasn't there. If he kept running, I think he might have had a shot at it.
He had a step on the defender, but it was thrown a little bit behind Seawald. And now Alejandro Maltos Garcia, Hondo, is 1 for 4 for 13 yards. I really, what do you think, Tyler? I like that play design. It was pretty good play design. They just, again, first game of the season.
Yeah, when you run the ball as much as the Beat Diggers do, that play action pass definitely will work. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they go back to it probably late in the game if they really need it.
Okay, Hunter Dunn to the near side. Escalante in the slot. A little delay. Right up the middle goes Krieger. He breaks a tackle and almost gets up to the first down, but nice hit there by the Wiggins Tiger, number 1.
Yeah, that was Jacob Jensen, a senior, and he might be about less than a yard short.
Yeah, I think so. They're even looking at a measurement.
Well, he's right at the stick, but that was a draw play. And I know you said delay, and, there's draw plays that look like draw plays and sometimes draw plays that you're either a little bit too quick or it's a little bit of a delayed draw. I thought they ran that fairly well, but Krieger pinballed himself off of one defender. If not, he only gains about 3 or 4 yards on that particular play, and they'll come out and measure. Things happen in life. Make sure you're prepared with the right insurance coverage in Meyer Phillips Insurance in Brush and Fort Morgan. And even 10 minutes to go in the second quarter, John Beltran with Rob Hastings and Tyler Carmen. 6-0 Brush on a 2-yard touchdown run by Nick Wellen, and they stretch the sticks. And if it's not a first down, it's short by a credit card, but that's got to be a first down. There you go.
There's no way to tell from here.
Well, I knew it was a first down before that because Tyler signaled it. He's got better vision than both of us. In fact, he's half my age, which means he's even younger, a lot younger than Rob, but I'm not going to say anything.
Don't be fooled. I had laser eye surgery, so.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Okay, I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
I didn't need contacts till I was 28.
Well, there you go.
Now I'm in my mid-50s, so, yeah, I had great vision for a long time.
Okay, Beat Diggers are set to go. 1st and 10. Ball at 39 of the Beat Diggers. Escalante in motion to the far side. Hand off to Wellen, and he breaks through. Is almost up to another first down. Give him 9.5 yards, I think.
Yeah, I think this time I don't think they've got the first down, but if they don't, it's one of those. Let's see if they
may have to measure this.
No, they're going to have to measure that. That's right there. That's probably 9 and.
Well, now they moved it back just a
but it's not much. Sometimes the angle of the field can throw you off, but yeah, here's where you might go up top again, Tyler, because you got nothing to lose at 2nd and inches.
Yeah, I would definitely trust Nick Well in 3rd and short.
Beat Digger football is to not make mistakes. They just did, I think.
Illegal motion.
Yep.
Well, that's the second time it's happened. The first time in an extra point, but even that, it's 2nd down and a long 5 to go at their own 44-yard line with over 9 minutes to go in the second.
I would definitely give credit to their 2 big tackles for the Beat Diggers, number 77 on the left side. That's where Nick Wellen has gotten most of his yards is off that left side. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go here again.
Yeah, that's junior Servando Herrera.
Oh, now we got another flag.
It's the same thing.
Going the wrong way.
Well,
not sure whether the wide receiver on the far side jumped or what.
Well, the Beat Diggers have 3 penalties, all the same penalty for 15 yards. Wiggins has 1 penalty for 7 yards, which would have been penalized a little bit more, but it was half the distance to the goal line when they had a personal foul penalty. So now we're back where we were before the last play.
Yeah, now you have something to lose. Nothing to lose area anymore.
Basically 10 from the 39. There's motion from the far side. Back to pass. Big rush. And, just right in and out of the hands of
Luke Seawald.
Good defensive play by number 26 for the Tigers, Eric Flores.
Yeah, he was right there. He tried to dump it underneath, but, I mean, Tyler, he catches that ball, it's only going to be a 3 or 4 yard gain.
Yeah, you're right. I got to be honest with you guys. You guys are doing better with the numbers than I am for these Tigers. They all look like number 11 since that's what's on the shoulder.
I know.
I keep looking at that, too.
Yeah.
There is one number 11 out there.
Yeah, and he'll be
but
the one that I
everybody
don't
looks
think.
like 11.
Right.
11's on the sideline now. So. Okay, 3rd and 10 now for the Beat Diggers. Krieger on the far side. The Beat Diggers headed north here in the second period. And, a little keeper by Hondo. He cuts back. He's going to be up just short of the first down.
Boy, that was a nice bootleg out to the right. He had the defense going the other way, and he swung it to the right and back towards the middle. They're going to go for it, I would think, there, because that's a gain of about 9.5 yards. So they're just shy of they're just past the 48-yard line. But Hondo, for the first time, runs the football in the game. And Brush has done a serviceable job running the ball, but we saw there, in order for the Beat Diggers to be somewhat successful at times, they have to be a little bit deceptive because straight up Wiggins has been able to handle them at times.
Okay, center's getting out the blocking assignments there. Hondo hands to Wellen. He breaks through. He's going to get about 5-6 yards there. He'll be in the Wiggins territory, down to about the 45.
Yeah, a gain of about 7. He was tackled from behind by Devin Harshman, a 5'7 senior. And Nick Wellen, unofficially, has 51 yards on 12 carries. So he's been the workhorse, but what did we expect?
Okay, 2 wides this time. Escalante to the far side, Hunter down to the near side. Backs in a T. First back through, nothing doing there. Got to see who comes off the bottom. I think it's Krieger. Yeah, he might got a half yard there.
Yeah, again, Wiggins is doing just enough. They're doing just enough to contain the Beat Diggers. We haven't seen any big plays. In fact, the biggest plays have been in the passing game. Alejandro had a 13-yard completion to Jace Krieger, and when I confused the Kerrs, Cole had a 17-yard completion to Logan Kerr. We did have a 20-yard run by Nick Wellen earlier in the game, and that's about it.
Man-to-man coverage. Oops, we got a Beat Digger jump, but I think one of the Tigers might have got across the line of scrimmage.
Well, yeah, I think I might say, Nick, it was Kyle Wellen with that big 20-yard run, but Caden Schwint was moving on the left side as a receiver, but that might have been a reaction to what Wiggins did. So we'll see if he initiated the move or Wiggins did. Yeah, the officials are now going to discuss it. The white hat is coming over to the side judge,
Gotta get a little
the lead
help,
official.
It happened on our side here.
Well, you ever see in basketball where they're not sure who's got the jump ball, so they just jump it in the middle. They don't know who's got possession, so they might do it here. They might just, nope, it's against Brush. This will be their 4th illegal procedure penalty of the opening half. And now it's going to be a 2nd down and 14 for the Wiggins 49. 6:41 to go, second quarter. The Beat Diggers with a 6-0 advantage on a 2-yard touchdown run by Nick Wellen.
Practice, they were really working on that hard snap count, and they got
think
their
you're right,
own
yeah.
defense to go off, but
Yeah.
I think maybe the tackle it could have gone either way. Okay, now the Beat Diggers, 2nd down and 14. Alejandro straight drop back, pitches it down right into the hands of Seawald, and I think he's still got a hold of it with one arm.
Boy, that's a
But
beautiful
you see he's
throw.
left hand waving out there, you get a little nervous. But
Beautiful throw on the right sideline. It's a gain of 19 to the 30. And that's, if he can make throws like that all season, that will certainly open up the passing game for Brush. That's his 2nd completion. And the first catch by Seawald, who's expected to be the leading receiver for Brush in 2019.
It was a great catch by Seawald. He's basically double covered of 2 guys on either side of him.
Yeah.
it's kind of a timing pattern because he stopped, turned, and it hit him right in the chest. Okay, they're set to go again. 1st and 10. Underneath handoff, and that breaks things clear for Wellen. He's up for 10 yards.
Again, the one thing you see, Tyler, is that Wellen is phenomenal with yards after contact. He never goes down on the first hit as he gains almost 10 there. And he gains exactly 10.
Probably one of the most underrated statistics in football is that yards after contact. It doesn't get near the appreciation it does. Even high school, college, everybody likes the speedy guys that can run really fast. But a player like Nick Wellen who could just keep going and keep chugging along are really valuable.
Yeah, this is a physical game, so you got to get hit.
Okay, Beat Digger set to go. Pretty much the same formation. Hand off to Krieger to the left side. He may get about 3 yards.
And the Beat Diggers are trying that misdirection. They're sprinkling that misdirection as he picked up 3 yards. Mohamed Ibrahim and 2 other Tigers in on the tackle. Krieger unofficially with 7 carries for 22 yards. And now we have another Wiggins timeout. 5:05 to go. here in quarter number 2. Colorado Plains Medical Center has experienced physicians and a highly trained surgical team. Train in the latest surgical procedures. Explore what procedures are possible in your hometown. Colorado Plains Medical Center. Now, the Bee Diggers will be on the road again next week when they play the Fort Morgan Mustangs, 7 o'clock in Fort Morgan. And then their first home game will be 3 weeks from today on September 20th when they entertain Alliance. And Coach Schwint, a lot of the coaches use the terminology, these are preseason games because they're not league games. Yeah. I've often found that terminology interesting because, they're not league games, but to me they're regular season games. And maybe because the preseason thing is thrown around in the NFL, and those don't count, but these do count in terms of rankings.
All those formulas and stuff to get the
right. Exactly. Yeah.
Does anybody know what that means?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But I shouldn't say I have no idea, but it's tougher to figure out because they keep changing it.
Second and long 7 for the Beat Diggers. Handoff, and Welland's going to pick up maybe a couple yards that he shouldn't have. He kind of crawled all over his lineman.
I think he ran into the back of a lineman and then into the front of a Wiggins Tiger for a gain of 1. But again, Nick Welland is getting a major workload here with 14 carries for 62 yards. So he's averaging almost 4.5 per carry. You can't ask for much more than that, and he's nearly halfway to what he gained a year ago when he went for 151 in Brush.
Okay, ball's at the 16-yard line. Beat Diggers lead at 6-0. We've got 4:29 and counting on the clock. Okay, bunch formation for the Beat Diggers. Only one wide receiver. Back to passes. Alejandro, and he's got a receiver down there. And did he get it? No.
He must have dropped it. Incomplete.
Beautiful pass. It had been a touchdown.
Yeah, let's see who was intended for. That was near the goal line on the right sideline. But
number 5, Caden Schwint, I do believe was the intended receiver.
Boy, that was a really well-thrown football. I think it should have been caught from this vantage point. Tyler, you might want to either correct me or affirm it because you got laser eye surgery. I didn't.
It looked like a great pass. It was even a better route by Caden Schwinn. It was a great post route.
Yep.
Right to the corner of the end zone. Broke at the perfect time. Defender didn't know what was going on, and defender got lucky there for sure.
And Caden's got good hands, but again, first game of the season, got to get the kinks out here. And the Bee Diggers now have a 4th and 6, Rob, from the 16 of Wiggins.
4th and 6. So this. And we got another flag.
Here we go again.
Is that going to be the 5th penalty?
Let's see who this is on. Beat Diggers are really young in the line.
They are walking back. Another illegal procedure penalty on the Beat Diggers.
Somebody must have set up and moved.
Yeah, they hadn't hardly even got set, so I wonder what the ref saw there.
Okay, now 4th and 11, and the Beat Diggers are going to go for it.
Yeah, let's see if Wiggins comes with a blitz under centers.
Had a little rollout by Alejandro, and he's going to throw it to the end zone and in and out of the hands of the receiver. Did he catch it?
He did catch it.
Wow.
Yeah,
the way their eyes there.
The way the receiver acted, he actually acted like he dropped that ball.
I thought he did too. And then the crowd was yelling. But that must have been a Beat Digger crowd.
I do believe it's number 14, Luke Seawald.
That's an incredible catch there by Seawald, 21 yards away. And Hondo threw that off his back foot on the run.
Yeah, and that Wiggins defender, I missed the number, but he shouldn't have chewed off his fingernails this morning because that's about how close it was to it being tipped.
Well, yeah, Seawald got exactly. It was that close, but Seawald got behind him and made a nice adjustment. But you're right, the way he caught it a little bit behind him. Now the Beat Diggers are going for 2 to hopefully go out 14 here.
Okay, under center. Little motion by Cardenas. And back to pass is Alejandro. He's looking to the end zone, and there's the 2-point conversion.
Luke Seawald again.
Seawald, huh? I've seen something fly, but it must have been some
We've got another
deer or something.
Flag.
But I think that's after the play.
It is after the play.
All right, 4:07 to go. We're in the second quarter, and that's going to be a personal foul against Wiggins. We'll take a 1-minute break. It's Brush 14, Wiggins nothing. This is the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Okay, welcome back, and the kickoff is underway. Braxton Shelton will kick it to the end zone, so be a touchback, and the Wiggins Tigers will take over.
Yep, he only had a 45-yard field to operate with because of the personal foul, but hey, Braxton, who's getting his first varsity action, is able to kick it, as you mentioned, into the land of no hash marks. So now Wiggins has it at their own 20. They will receive the second half kickoff, but the Big Diggers are now with a 14-0 lead on a 21-yard touchdown pass on a 4th and 11 from the Wiggins 21. It was a tremendous pass by Hondo and a nice adjustment by Luke Seawald, who also in that left flat caught the 2-point conversion pass.
Now that the sun's going down, we can't see the Wiggins numbers at all.
Yeah.
Kerr in the back, a little short pass to the far side. Nice cutback by the receiver, but it's only going to get about 4 yards.
Nick Wellen with a really nice tackle there in the middle of the field.
Well, Wellen had 82 tackles a year ago, so he's always around the football on both sides. And Eric Flores, again, they're going to give him 4. It'll set up a 2nd down and 6.
2 wides to the near side, 1 to the far side. The backs in the T.
And he's 5 yards behind center the whole game.
No, we got him in the shotgun again. Defensive backs are running backwards, and a little delay, a little draw play didn't do anything. Good job by
Nick
Wellen again.
Yep.
And Aaron Taylor ate him up as well for only a gain of 1.
I was trying to catch that other number.
Well, 3rd down and 5.
Clock ticking at 3:01 with Beat Diggers up 14-0.
And here's the thing. I asked Coach Schwinn before the game, do you need to be challenged? Because last year they weren't challenged by Wiggins, and they go into that Fort Morgan game, and it's like they didn't even play a game, but they're being challenged here. It's a tough first half, even though they're up by 2 scores.
Kerr calling out play, and he's looking to the near side. Got a wide receiver wide open. Kind of a little comeback.
We'll call it a catch.
I think it'll be a catch.
Yeah, it's called by Logan Kerr. That was very, very, very loose coverage by Edgar Escalante. He was way too far off that ball, and he was probably 10 yards off the ball. And all Kerr did was run an underneath pattern, and it made it an easy catch. And that's his 2nd catch for 22 yards.
It was kind of short, almost too short, but he caught it right at the first down marker. So
Escalante,
it's 1st and 10.
Right, I'm sorry, Rob. He was not going to get beat. He just wanted to make sure he was not going to get beat. But had he broke a little bit earlier, might have been able to make a play there.
2 wides to the far side, and a little underneath handoff, and breaking into the clear for about 7 yards.
Big hole in that left middle side of the Wiggins line.
I was trying to catch the number. He come off the bottom there, but I can't tell.
Yeah, I think we're all trying to guess here. From this vantage point, it's very difficult. I mean, the uniforms are nice, but it's a nightmare trying to see those numbers. The Beat Diggers have the nice color scheme with the white jerseys and the dark numerals, but anytime the color schemes do not match so you can see the numbers, it makes it difficult. I don't think it was Flores either, but nonetheless, it's a 2nd and 3.
Okay, 2 wides to the far side, and it's looking near, a little pump and go, and there's almost an interception, almost a catch.
Number 87, Cade Moriarty. Really good defensive play there, coming over from the safety position.
You know why he didn't pick off that pass? That ball was fluttering out there, and sometimes when it's fluttering and you don't have that nice spiral, it almost makes it more difficult to grip because he nearly had the pick there at about the 41-yard line on that pattern down the right sideline.
Receiver was number 6, which we don't have a number for. So.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, those are the
but
rosters
the
that I
ball
got.
hit both of them in the hands at the same time, and it fell.
That was that route earlier that Escalante was worried about.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
pump and go there. 2 wides to the near side, now a little motion to the far side.
Yep, that's Flores.
Okay. And back to pass, big rush, a nice screen, and breaking up for the 1st down. Good pass by Kerr. Uh-oh. Big yellow flag right in the middle of that.
It is a gain of 6, but the flag was thrown near the end of the play, not after the play. So let's see if there was some illegal block or a hold there to set up that screen because you allowed the defenders to come in. And sometimes you grab a jersey and it nullifies the 1st down. And the preliminary, no, they're going to wave the flag off. They're going to wave off the penalty. So it's a gain of 6 and a 1st down. And Cole Kerr has now completed 4 passes, 3 on this drive for 15 yards. The problem is for Wiggins is that time is running down, 1:21 to go, and they're still not at midfield on their own 43-yard line. So they're going to have to put one up unless they can break one out of the backfield. But their running game has been limited so far, and the clock is running.
Okay, 2 targets to the near side. They're cut across the field. They fake it. Now we got a reception to the near side right into the Wiggins bench. Good tackle there by Moriarty.
Yep, it's a nice play. That's a gain of 10 on the pass from Kerr to Flores. All of a sudden, they got a nice passing game going here.
Even smarter, he got out of bounds at the end of the play. Stopped the clock.
Yeah, yeah. Because what do they got? 1 timeout left, so you got to.
Only 1:04 on the clock.
Well, and when you're throwing those sideline patterns, the ball's in the air that much longer. They're not throwing anything in between the hash marks, so they might think about doing that, but they're seeing the exposure defensively along the sidelines.
2 wides to the far side. A little pump now throwing towards the end zone, and the Beat Digger had it in his hands.
It's number 6, Ivan Cardenas.
Yeah, the wide receiver about overrun the pass. Cardenas was right there.
Yeah, Yvonne had it, but again, the ball fluttered towards him, and sometimes when you try to grip that football and it's not a smooth spiral, you don't bring it in. But that could have been picked off. There
We got
was there
another
a flag?
somewhere.
Let's see who the penalty marker is against, but it looks like it's going to be against Wiggins because the official is going to be walking backwards here momentarily.
I think that was number 9, the receiver, but we don't have a number 9.
Holding.
Yeah, no, this is the exact roster that I got. An illegal shift, and that's going to be, they're going to decline the penalty. So 2nd down and 10 for Wiggins at the Brush 47. 56 seconds to go in the second quarter. They do receive the second half kickoff, but if they're going to score here in the first half, they need a huge play.
Okay, coming to the near side, a little fake. Now
cutting
it up, and the quarterback's going to run up and slide down real close to the first down.
Well, they should. Whoa, wow. I'm surprised at the side judge. Well, I think he's short, but they're going to say a first down, and they stop the clock. Gain of 10 there by Cole Kerr.
Well, their clock's winding up here. They didn't stop it on the run. Oh, a little underneath pass and breaking into the clear, out of bounds.
There's a flag on the play. It's going to be an illegal block on the Tigers. The receiver took after his guy just a little too early for the ball left quarterback's hand.
Yeah, it was pass interference, in fact. It was pass interference because the ball was in flight. If that's a running play, it would have been the same thing. It was a violation either way. So now Wiggins is going backwards towards their 50-yard line.
There's Flores on the catch again, I think.
Yeah, it was, yeah. I mean, he gets out in the open, and he separates himself well from the defenders. But
he's
again,
a senior at 6'5'8", so he's not real tall.
No. Crystal clear ice, good for any drink, any time of year. AC Ice. You can pick it up at any local grocery or convenience store in Northeast Colorado today. And because the penalty was well behind the line of scrimmage, in fact, it's actually pass interference, so automatically it's a 15-yarder. So now you're looking at 1st and 25. It says 22 on the board, but it should be 25 back at the 48.
Okay, now looking for an underneath and a good rush by the Beat Diggers and slung down.
Luke Seawald, nice tackle.
Loss of 10.
He had him cornered there and threw him down like a rag, huh?
And Wiggins has to call a timeout with 24 seconds to go. And I guess the only thing down 14-0 for Wiggins, loss of 11 back at the 37 actually, is that now you're going to have to do some trickery. But I have seen wild things in football where you try trick plays, it works against you, then it goes 6 the other way. So they know, once again, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, that they do receive the kickoff to begin the second half. So they don't have to take too much of a risk. They're still in this ball game, trailing 14-0.
Wiggins working for the near side hash marks. 2 wide receivers to the left, looking near side. Now they're looking. Good rush and grabbing an arm. And finally, Kerr goes down, and there's Seawald again.
Yep, it's a gain of 5, though. Nice job by Cole Kerr to get out of it, but the clock is running. They're going to get off one more play here. Clock is running 5 seconds to go, Rob.
Okay. Back to pass, a little bit of a rush. Got a completion over to the far side, about to the 49-yard line of Wiggins. Yep. And they're going to be out of time.
Yep, and that was completed to Flores, it looked like. So that is the end of the opening half with the score. Brush 14, Wiggins nothing on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Tigers with a Beat Diggers lead 14-0.
He's waving at
Brush is already here on the field. Now Wiggins has finally made his way to the sideline. I guess the official now is signaling the extra 3 minutes for Wiggins to get ready. Now the Beat Diggers will kick off to begin the second half, and now they're going to be winding that 3-minute clock. So we will officially start in 3 minutes, and we're hoping for nothing but a running game here in the second half. I mean,
was it a running clock, quick clock, or
quick clock? Yeah, running clock would be No, we're not going to get a running clock in this game. I mean, this is a competitive football game, but, we haven't had too many plays in the sideline except for passes. All the runs, I mean, Brush tried to take it to the outside a couple of times, but everything has basically been either right between the hash marks or a little bit outside of the hash marks, and I would love to see a good 7 or 8 minute drive by the Beat Diggers consume a lot of third or fourth quarter clock and put this one away. But, again, Wiggins came to play today, and you would expect nothing less, and they've held down the Beat Digger running attack. Nick Wellen does have the 62 yards on 14 carries, and he hasn't had any huge runs. He just chips away. But as Tyler talked about in the first half, if the yards after contact were not there, he wouldn't be averaging 4.5 yards. It'd be closer to probably 2.5 or 3.
Yep. One thing we need to watch for that yards after catch. The only bad thing that can happen for it, and I've seen Wiggins, when they tackle, they gang tackle. That's why we have such a hard time seeing the numbers of who makes those tackles. But when they gang tackle, they're trying to strip the ball. And that yards after contact, if you're churning and trying to move forward, sometimes you lose track of holding on to the ball. ball. And I'm sure that's what the Wiggins coaches have harped on, and keep going for that ball because sooner or later you will break one free.
Nick Wellen has gained over 2,300 yards total in the last 2 years, and he has been very good with ball security. That's something that he's excelled at. So if they're going to strip from Nick Wellen, they're going to have to do it with some greasy hands or something, because he is very difficult to have the ball stripped from, because he can be a battering ram, and battering rams usually corral the football. And when you do that, I mean, I don't know. It's almost he's almost got to drop it. All right. So anyway,
I think I might have watched him have maybe one fumble less.
Yeah, it's very rare. It's very rare.
Very rare.
All right. So now Wiggins will move to one side of the field, anticipating the kickoff. They were setting up on the side where Brush is going to kick off, which they don't want to do that. And it should be Braxton Shelton to kick it off once again. We now begin the second half. 14-0 Brush. Well, I think we might have a different kicker here. That's going to be Keegan Link. Well, that's true. Braxton kicked off from the 45 of Wiggins after the penalty following their second touchdown. Okay. And Keegan will kick off here.
Let's see who's deep.
Yeah,
can't read the numbers.
Flores might be one of them. Might be. But again, these are gray uniforms with black numbers.
Okay.
Austin Hugh is back there. Go ahead, Rob.
We're underway. That kickoff might go out of bounds. It's going to stop at about the 12, and if Wiggins picks it up, he's going to push out across the 30.
I think they lost
even
the ball.
Out to the 35.
Well, they did a nice job there of operating along the sideline. So if they did lose the football, it would go out of bounds, even though I don't know if that was the game plan. But, no team has really had bad field position in this game. The worst drive was Wiggins starting at their own 20 when Braxton Shelton booted it into the end zone. This is pretty good field position at the 34-yard line. And again, they've been operating out of the shotgun here with their freshman quarterback Cole Kerr, who has completed 6 passes in this game.
And they go out of that shotgun. One running back, motion from receiver to the near side. Well, they're not setting up. Trying to figure out where he's going to go. He's having a little trouble figuring out. There's a pass going out. Now pulling it down is the quarterback, and down he goes.
Good tackle by Ty Griffith there, the freshman.
That's Cole Kerr on the run, about 7 yards.
Yeah, they're going to give him 8 now to the 42, second down and 2. It was a little play action there. It was a little play action and a nice shoestring tackle there in the open field, as Tyler was talking about. If not, that would have been a bigger gainer there for Kerr, but, it's still a very favorable second down and now second play on this drive to begin the second half.
Okay, now we got four wideouts, 2 to each side. Kerr's going to hand it to his running back right up the middle and spread it out. And first and 10 for Wiggins at their own 49. Is that about an 8-9 yard pickup?
Okay, he's coming off the ball carrier is coming off the field, so that is number 11. That's a gain of 7. And again,
we don't have a number 11.
Yeah, we don't have a number 11, but
with those stripes on all the arms, we think everybody's number 11.
Right, but he's legitimately number 11.
Yeah. Okay.
We do have a number 12. That is Austin Hua.
Yeah.
Maybe that's who that is.
Okay, 2 wides to each side again. Pass going off to the far side. And close to first down for the Tigers.
I think it's pretty obvious that Wiggins came out to play here after this very long halftime. They're moving the ball pretty effectively in these first few plays.
The side judge, why did he try to stop the clock? It's a gain of 8. That was, I believe, to Eric Flores. 7 of 10 now, and Flores has caught 4 passes now for 28 yards. But, yeah, it's weird that 2 yards shy of the first down. Immediately the side judge called for the stoppage of the clock like it was a first down.
Okay, there's a quarterback keeper right up the middle. Or was that a...
Yeah, that was a quarterback keeper.
I couldn't tell if it was quarterback or the running back got the, I think that was Kerr, 9.
Yeah, and I think that was Luke Seawald who got in that backfield and threw him down to the ground for about a loss of 1. Right. Well, Kerr's got to find that hole. It's almost like he's better off running when he gets pressured, as we see now a little bit of a couple of raindrops right in front of us.
Change at halftime here for Tigers. The 4 wide receivers. Well, there's a nice pass, but it didn't go for anything. A loss of a yard.
Yeah, that was out in the left flat. That's a heck of an open field play there by Hondo. A loss of 1 on the reception there by Jacob Jensen. So now it's going to be 4th down and about 4 at the 45-yard line. The Beatdiggers stop Wiggins here. They'll have pretty darn good field position, up 14-0 with 9.5 to go in the third.
And there on the tackle. Okay, go with 2 wides to the far side. Tigers, orange, up on the near side hash marks, headed north. Little motion across, a fake, and a quarterback keeper, and a good side step. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
Boy, there were a couple of beat diggers there in position to make the tackle, and I think it was Griffith who got him at the end, but it's a gain of 6. He needed 4, and the drive continues inside the Brush 40-yard line, and Wiggins almost with their deepest penetration of the game.
Ball on the 39.5-yard line. Tigers right out of the huddle. Go with 2 wides to the far side, working from the near side hash mark to the near side. It's big rush here by the beat diggers, and Kerr's going to take off, and he's going to get a great run there, probably 7 or 8 yards.
Way to make something out of nothing there for Wiggins quarterback.
Well,
a big rush by Cesar Hinojosa, but he couldn't catch up with him.
Well, the thing is, he felt the backside pressure, and he picked up almost 6 yards in the play, just shy of 33. If he doesn't feel that backside pressure, he's going to get sacked, and instead of a 2nd down and 4, which it is right now, it would have been about a 2nd and 14.
Or a 2nd 4, yep. And
I might say 5, but it's a long 4 and a short 5.
Yeah. Okay, 1 wide receiver to the near side. They'll put the receiver in the slot to the right. 2 wide receivers, a little underneath handoff. Let's see. The diggers are going to put him down, probably for no gain.
Yeah, and again, almost impossible to see the number. Very difficult to see. It is no gain. It'll be 3rd down and about 4.5 or 5 yards. And that might have been Hugh again. I think you're right, Tyler. That might be the same guy wearing 11 instead of 12.
Several beat diggers on the tackle. Moriarty come off the bottom of the pile.
Well, this is 4 down territory for Wiggins. More lightning now and a little bit of rain with 7:20 to go.
4 wide receivers again. They throw to the near side. Pretty good coverage, but breaking a tackle, breaking into the clear, and finally hit down at the, he stepped out of bounds out here about the 24-yard line.
Yeah, I think that was Flores who caught that. And it will be a 1st down. He had a nice stiff arm there, and they'll mark it down as it's going to be at the 24, but it's a gain of 10. And the passing game pretty efficient right now for Cole Kerr.
They're really spreading the beat diggers out with that 4 wide receivers.
Flores unofficially with 5 catches now for 38 yards. And as for Kerr, he's completed 9 of 12 passes for 65 yards. A lot of the short passing game, but it's working for Wiggins as the clock is running inside of 6:45 to go. About 6:45 here in the 3rd.
A little motion from the far side. Back to pass. And, a little rush there by Seawald. Finally hit down is Kerr. Didn't have anybody open. See, also on the tackle was Tatum Hoofuttle, or however you say that. But
I think is that Heffley? Yeah, it might be Heffley, I think. Anyway,
it's a little dark in here.
Yeah, it's a gain of about 3, and he went straight ahead. He pump faked out to the right when he saw the receiver covered. So that little ball fake allowed him to pick up some yardage when one of the receivers bit there, one of the defenders bit for Brush.
Still on the near side of hash marks. And a little
delay
draw
up the
play,
middle.
Delay, and we got a flag. Probably looks like in the holding area.
Should be holding on Wiggins there.
Gain of 2, immediate holding there. In fact, that's what allowed the ball carrier to get through a very small hole. So now what was about a 2nd and 7 is going to turn into a 2nd and 16 or 17, especially if that was behind the line of scrimmage, as they're going to be walking that off right now. 14-0 Brush leads Wiggins. Under 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 2-yard touchdown run by Nick Wellen in the 1st quarter. 21-yard touchdown catch by Luke Seawald and a 2-point conversion catch in the 2nd. So now we're looking, that's a good 2nd down and about 17 to go at the 32.
Okay, set to go again out of that shotgun. Kerr back looking for a long pass. Good coverage by the beat diggers. And let's see, who's done.
Well, he played the ball. I mean, when you play the ball and you're not playing the receiver, and he was closer to the football than the receiver, that spells success. And now it's 3rd and long for Wiggins.
That's one of those where your receiver all of a sudden turns into the defender, trying to avoid an interception.
Yep.
Yeah, Hunter Dunn had position and he was run into, but I was afraid they might call a pass interference. Oh, nice
Great
tackle
play.
there. Oh,
Number 79, Joshua Cantu.
Cantu's one that coaches mentioned that has really been coming on for them.
Yeah, that was a simple handoff right up the gut, and he was swallowed there in that backfield. So now it is 4th down, and the football's at the 34. They've got to get to about the 16, maybe the 15. So it's 4th and about 18 or 19 to go. They got to pass here, Rob.
Got to go for a long ways. Pretty good rush there, but nice throw down the middle, intercepted by the beat diggers. They'd been better to dropped it.
Number 87, Moriarty.
That's what Moriarty's saying. He just tapped himself in the helmet. That's a 2nd turnover by Wiggins. But instead of the beat diggers having the football just shy of their own 35-yard line, Now they have it inside their own 15-yard line, or maybe right at the 15. You know what? This might be a blessing. Chew up some clock, have possession of the football going into the fourth quarter, and see what you can do here. You're 85 yards away from the end zone.
Well, I'm thinking about Stubbs and hoping they're going to be open when we get out of here.
Boy, it's a fine sponsor of that was a long halftime show brought to you by Stubbs Gas and Oil. We thank them for being a long-time sponsor of Morgan County Athletics.
Okay, Altos Garcia brings them out under center. Backs in the tee. Underneath handoff, nothing doing. Wiggins stacks it up.
Wow.
Another nice gang tackle.
Was that Wellen there? Was that Nick Wellen?
I'm trying to see the number. Yeah, it was Nick.
Yeah, he got eaten up at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Unofficially his 15th carry. E&B Appliance can help you with all of your appliance needs. Stop in and see what they can do for you on Ensign Street in 4. B&B Appliance. Well, at least they're chewing up clock, but if they can pick up 6 or 7 yards here, they'll set up a 3rd and short, but now it's 2nd and 10.
Cadence went to the near side, and there's a keeper by Marcos Garcia. Breaks across the 40. That's still going. He might go all the way. One man to beat. He's going to get hit down at the 36-yard line of the Wiggins Tigers. How many yards is that, John?
Well, he's had 2 phenomenal bootlegs, and let's see where they place the football. That's going to be 50 yards. Well, if they give him the 34-yard line, 51 yards for Hondo on the bootleg left. And again, as you mentioned, there wasn't too much out there in terms of Wiggins' defenders because he hit that football very well, Tyler, on his left hip and just took off.
Had some great downfield blocks, too. I don't know who it was, threw an awesome block.
The defender went flying about a yard and a half.
He did.
Okay, Cadence went to the near side here. Wellen and Krieger in the backfield. Hondo hands it to Wellen, and he's going to power forward for a little bit and get driven back hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tigers coming off the pile, maybe 5. I think they've got him tagged out there, John.
Well, again, it's a young offensive line, and no gain. It was actually Hondo who had the football, who ended up with a football at least. So B-Diggers do have it at the 34-yard line with a 2nd and 10, and they've been a little bit more successful running up that left side. But that time I think they hitched it a little bit closer to the middle, and Wiggins was ready for it.
Set to go again. Hondo's going to hand it off to the left side to Krieger. He's going to be up for about 7, 8 yards.
Again, a nice misdirection there, and Krieger, who's got a lot of speed, didn't waste any time. There was a slight opening between the left guard and the left tackle, and he was able to gain, like you mentioned, close to 7, Rob, and now it's going to be setting up a 3rd and about a short 4 and a long 3. And for Krieger, unofficially his 8th carry for 27 yards. One of his longer carries, his 2nd longest carry of the night.
Hey, Melvin Hernandez is out here at wide receiver to the near side. B-Diggers working towards the far side hash marks. Headed south.
Fumble snap.
Garcia's going to drop it. I think his knee went down.
Yeah, that's what happened. His left knee was down. You pick that up and you can take off with it, but when your left knee or any knee goes down, it's a dead ball, so he loses 2 yards. 4th down and 5 for Brush at the 29-yard line of Wiggins, leading 14-0. We do have a minute 52 to go in a pretty quick moving third quarter, which is only 15 minutes old in real time.
Yvonne Cardenas to the near side. They're going motion towards the line of scrimmage.
There we go again.
And he's stepped forward, I think, before they hiked the ball.
Yvonne did move forward. He took a step downfield before the ball was snapped, so now it's a 4th down and 10. And you're going to have to go up top or isolate a receiver to gain these 10 yards, because the only running play that has really worked more than once, well, has obviously been that bootleg. You know, Brush used to do that all the time with Mitch Tormolin and with other quarterbacks. That bootleg was so successful, and they would use it on 3rd and long or 4th down situations to get out of a hole. But this is 4th and 10 for the 34 of Wiggins.
Maltos Garcia puts Cardenas in motion, fakes a pitch, big rush, and a right down the middle, out of the arms of Seawald, I think. I think that was 14. Right about the 5-yard line.
Well, he tipped it twice, and if he tipped it a little bit higher, Moriarty, who was streaking down the middle, would have actually caught that ball for a touchdown. So, a great effort there by Seawald to keep that on his fingertips, and he tried to tip it to himself. But if it actually could have been tipped to the other receiver, it would have been one of those crazy touchdowns. But Wiggins takes over on downs. 3rd time that the B-Diggers have been stopped in Wiggins territory, and there's only 82 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter.
There was a huge rush on Maltos Garcia, but he was able to get it downfield. Okay. Little quarterback keeper, and nothing there. Nice job by Cole Career. About rolled over the pile. He thought he wasn't down.
gain there. And again, a bevy of B-diggers there stacked in the middle to make the play on Cole Kerr. It's already his 10th carry. And we're well under 1 minute to go in quarter number 3. And Brush is up by 2 scores.
Have 2 wide receivers here to the near side, and Hunter Dunn. I don't know how he's going to cover both of them.
No. Yeah, you're right. He's there by himself. Hopefully.
Got a little help this time.
Yeah, Seawald's coming out there now.
Yeah, but a little short screen, and there's a flag.
I think it's going to be on the Tigers. Yeah, they threw that. Another one of those receivers trying to make a block.
Yeah, that bubble screen, and that was definitely either interference or an illegal block. It was Krieger, not Seawald, out there near that coverage there with Hunter Dunn. They got the football out to the 41, but this should nullify that 7-yard gain as the officials talk it over. Yeah, holding against Wiggins. And, is a horse collar at the end of the play against Brush. I think that's a good call. They did get inside the jersey there. So those penalties are nullified, and it'll stay 2nd down and 10 at the 34, but it's too bad that tackle was made just a little bit high. And he didn't go inside that collar too much, Rob, but just enough that the flag was thrown.
I was watching the flag a little more than
just a little bit. It was a little bit high, and sometimes that could be deceptive.
We're inside 27 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. 1 wide receiver off to the far side for Wiggins. A little screen over here to the near side. Good job breaking into the open across the 50 and finally tackled. And that's that Flores again.
Yep. It's a gain of 19. And again, he ran the majority of that. It was just a little pass out in the left flat.
Hunter Dunn, Jace Krieger out there to finally bring him down. Okay, now what do we stop?
The officials are going to have another conversation. I don't see a flag. Oh, there is a flag way back at the 30. I didn't even see him throw it.
Both teams.
I mean, you could barely see the flag from here. That's going to come back.
They are coming back.
Flag's been hard on both teams. Illegal procedure on Wiggins.
It's illegal formation. Yeah, it's the same penalty for procedure and formation, but that was an illegal there on Wiggins, and once they restart the clock, that should have been the final play of the 3rd quarter, with Wiggins now facing it should be a 2nd and 15, close to 15, once they spot the football. And again, I'm sure they'll restart the clock here because that was a complete pass that stayed in bounds. But they're going to be right up to the line of scrimmage, so they might run a play before this quarter expires. Yeah, they're at the 30. They got it to be they're at the 29, 2nd and 15. The clock has started.
Snap to Kerr. It'll pop out to the far side. Oh, there's a hit.
Number 6, Yvonne Cardenas again. Big hit.
Ooh.
And there's some major lightning there to end the 3rd quarter. That might stop play here, and that's the end of the 3rd quarter. It is a loss of 2 yards. And the score, Brush 14, Wiggins nothing. A 1-minute break on the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back. And John Beltran's looking up the weather again because we're getting some lightning strikes real close. The officials look like they're going to set the ball down.
Yeah, that was a lot closer than I thought. And we heard the lightning shortly thereafter. And let's see what's going to super long here for Wiggins, but I guess they're going to keep playing football in Wiggins.
Okay, Wiggins is headed south now. To our right. 4 wide receivers again to the near side. We got right the middle. Boy. Don't go running at Nick Wellen. He just did one of them forklift tackles.
Great tackle.
I seen one of those forklift blocks on TV last night, and that was a good explanation.
Well, as usual, when Wellen's in on the tackle, it's no gain, and now it's 4th and 17. Yeah, they can't exploit the middle of that B-digger defense, and now Wiggins will punt.
Jace Krieger's back. This is going to roll a long ways. Go inside the 20 down to the 22, it looks like.
17-yard line. That's a 56-yard punt with a roll. I mean, that is one heck of a punt there by the left-footed kicker there for Wiggins.
It's almost one of those rugby style.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
Devin Harshman.
I'm stunned that we're still playing here. That lightning is I could see it from here really close, and that looked like it hit ground.
There's another one.
Another one. We're looking here on the phone, and they're not as close as they appear to be.
Okay.
No, really.
They're just visible from here.
Very visible.
All right, well, let's see if the B-diggers can just eat up a lot of clock, and let's get out of here. They're up 14-0, and we're 45 seconds into the final quarter.
Wellen in the backfield. Little motion by Caden. And underneath handoff to Wellen. He's going to get almost to the 20. couple of yards on that one.
On the ball carrier, brought down by number 1.
Well, he's been contained here in the second half. He had 62 yards at halftime, but he's only carried the ball, well, a couple of times here. Let's see, 58, 62, 60, 64. Yeah, he hasn't carried it much here in the second half.
Cardenas in with the play.
Nick
Put
Welland
Hunter down to the near side.
Yep, Welland looking for his third consecutive 1,000-yard season.
Maltos Garcia's going to, Cardenas has it around the corner. He breaks out into the open. A couple guys got him, gets thrown down just short of the 50-yard line. That's one of the better plays of the game.
Well, it's an end around there to the right, and he had a huge lane up the right sideline, and Ivan is able to pick up 31 yards. And now the Beat Diggers are at midfield with a chance to just keep eating up even more clock inside of 10:20 to go in the game. They've had two huge runs in this half, the 51-yarder by Hondo and that 31-yarder by Ivan.
Might be what the Brush Beat Diggers have to do.
Right.
A little bit of a deception to get the ball moving here. That's their two biggest plays, a little bit of a deceiving play.
Okay, Hondo under center. Little motion this way and a pitch. Krieger's got it, trying to hit the edge, and he's going to dive forward for about 5 yards. Wasn't a lot there, but he got 5 yards out of it.
Tackle was made by Devin Harshman, the 5'7" senior. And for Jace Krieger, unofficially 9 carries for 34 yards, so averaging just under 4 yards a carry. But again, the Wiggins defense has been stout. They've held, as I mentioned, Welland pretty well here in the second half after he picked up over 60 yards in the opening half.
Okay, back. Fumble. And Maltos Garcia is going to have to fall on it.
Well, that's the second time there's been a center quarterback snap exchange that has not gone well. It's a loss of 3, 4.
Ooh, boy.
I mean, his knee was down a yard closer to the end zone, but they're going to say a loss of 4 back to the 49, which makes it a 3rd and 9 for Brush.
3rd and 9 for Brush at the 49-yard line.
Again, not a very electric second half, but it is moving along. That's what you want. This game could have been over by 10:30, but we're only at 5 minutes to 10, and we got close to 8.5 to go in the game.
Beat Diggers in the middle of the field. Good rush and a nice throw. Just overthrown Cardenas. How in the world did he get out of that?
Almost lost the ball in the backfield there.
He tossed it towards the right sideline at the 30, and around the football was Caden Schwinn as well. I see if Brush decides to punt. I mean, they've been going for it, but if they punt, they could really pin Wiggins back. I'm not sure if the wind is playing a factor. Yeah, they're going to be setting up here to punt. And Braxton Shelton, the sophomore, standing at his own 38-yard line as Hondo threw his 10th pass of the game. Now he's only completed 3 for 53 yards.
Get all the special teams in there. Now we're going to have to call a timeout when the Beat Diggers running out of time.
The first Beat Diggers score of the game, the 2-yard touchdown run by Nick Welland, brought to you by Western Engineering Consultants. Engineering and consulting services for all of your projects. Strong commitment to their clients' needs sets them apart at Western Engineering Consultants. Neither team has scored here in the second half. The Wiggins has gotten inside the Brush 40-yard line on a couple of occasions, but that's been it. But again, they have made major strides from what they were a year ago. And when you start a freshman quarterback who's performed pretty well, and you're only down by 14, you got to be certainly satisfied with this particular effort they put forth tonight.
Yeah, just 3 completions, but that big one to Luke Sewell for the touchdown there toward the end of the second half, that was huge.
Yeah, because if not, this game would be in question right now. But you feel that 14-0 is a big lead because Brush has been tough to penetrate through from that Wiggins offensive side. They've gotten a few first downs, but they cannot put together any sustained drives.
8.5 to go in the fourth, and I agree with you guys. That Lightning sure looks like it's getting a lot closer.
Yeah, Braxton Shelton for the punt. That gets off a pretty good one. Going to come towards the near side and come out of bounds inside the 20.
Well, he had no return. That's the key to the punt there. And let's see where they'll mark it. They're still walking it off. The official walking towards the 20. I mean, that's where you want. 20 or inside the 20. It looks like it's going to be right at the 20, which would make that a 29-yard punt. And they just need to get this game over with as quickly as possible because the weather, the lightning is certainly seemingly very visible from here. There is some moisture now in the area.
First and 10 for the Tigers.
And listening from the thunder, so maybe it's further away than
Right. You can't hear that. We heard thunder earlier, but not as much now.
Okay, back to it. Nice run, and then there's a sack I think he should have handed that one off. It would have been a long run.
Well, it was a play action there.
Play action.
Number 52, the other defensive end, opposite of Luke Seawald.
Cesar Hinojos was able to throw him down for a loss of 7. And now 2nd and 17 as Kerr was taken down. And again, Wiggins is going to have to go to the air.
We're down to 7:15 counting. 2 wides to the near side. Tigers in the center of the field. Headed to our right. And back to pass coming here. And, good coverage there.
That's Hondo all over the receiver, Flores, at around the 17-yard line on that pass out towards the right sideline. Yeah, it's going to be 3rd and long here for the Wiggins Tigers.
I don't know. Those flashes look close to me.
Yeah, we just had about 2 or 3 here to the north and east of us that looked awful close. But you guys are right. Still no thunder. Can't hear them.
Yep. Well, we got 3rd and 16, Rob, for the 14-yard line. They're going to have to go up top again.
We got a bunch over here. 3 wide receivers on the near side.
And then 1 to the far.
And the quarterback keeper. And not too much there. Maybe
well
2 or 3 yards.
Very well defended by the Diggers.
Yeah, I picked up about 2 or 3 yards, and I'm not sure if that was Hinojos. That might have been another player there.
I think it was Hinojos with the tackle, 52.
As well. So now it's 4th down at about 13 after the short gain there by Cole Kerr.
The Beat Diggers going to send 2 guys back with Cardenas and Krieger. They set up about the 50. Now it comes towards, another great
get away from that
the
ball.
Tigers. I come towards Cardenas, and he was wobbling and flopping, and he didn't want anything to do with that.
Well, it's another one that goes for about 54 yards, 53 yards there because the Beat Diggers didn't field it. There they had the opportunity, but Yvonne said, I don't want to make a mistake up by 14 with under 7 minutes to go. And both the touchdowns were scored in the opening half. When it comes to experience, Buildings by Design is the very best in the business. Quality, commitment, and experience makes Buildings by Design the only choice when it comes to your next project. Buildings by Design. Again, not bad field position. They got it at their 30.
30-yard line. Beat Diggers headed north.
Just under 7 minutes to go. See if they can string together a nice 7-minute drive. That would be ideal.
Wides to each side for the Beat Diggers. We got defense bouncing around. We're going to get offsides on the Tigers.
We are just past the top of the hour here in Wiggins. I'm John Beltran with Rob Hastings and Tyler Carmen, Evan James down on the field with our social media stuff as well. This is 1010 KSIR, Brush, Fort Morgan, Weldona. We had an hour and a halftime because of the delay, and we got a lot of spots there on our lightning tracker as well.
That's not good. I was watching the wrong running back. Thinking about the.
Looks like Welland right up the gut.
5-yard gain.
Nope, I don't think that was Welland. Actually, it was.
Krieger.
Yeah, it was not Welland. Welland did not get the play. Gain of about 2 right up the gut, so it's 2nd down and about, or 3, 2nd down and 2.
Haven't seen Kyle Welland. I don't know. He started the game.
And had a big 20-yard run.
Okay, we're back underway. Hand off the right side, nothing doing there.
And that was Welland, a gain of just 1. And again, as Tyler's mentioned, on more than one occasion, trying to run on that right side has been difficult for Brush in this game. With deception, the end around, and then running left on a bootleg that went for 51 by Hondo.
I keep trying to see who that left defensive tackle is for Wiggins. Number 70. Finally got to see him.
Yeah, that's Muhammad Ibrahim.
Yeah, he is. He's having himself quite a game.
And only a sophomore at 6'3". It's a big defensive line.
Hondo's going to hand it off to the near side. Well, it's going to get the first down by a lot.
It's a gain of 8 for Nick Welland. Just a strong run, but again, left side. You know what? It's almost. Remember the Titans, left side, strong side, and Nick Welland unofficially is up to 73 yards on 18 carries.
Up to the 47.5-yard line. Clock in down to 5 and a quarter, 5:25.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Beat Diggers at the 48-yard line.
Beat Diggers set. Looks like a stunt coming, and off to the right side goes Krieger for about 4 or 5 yards.
Well, he backed his way, too.
Yeah,
yep.
Kind of spun him around, and he finally got him down.
Yeah, they'll give him 4. 2nd down and 6. Now they're backtracking it to the 50, but nonetheless, they'll take that all day as Becker was in on the play for Wiggins on the other side of the 50, and the clock continues to tick.
Hunter Dunn in with the play.
Approaching the 4.5-minute mark of quarter number 4. Brush leads Wiggins 14-0.
Edgar Escalante and Hunter Dunn trying to figure out. It's so Seawald. They swapped ends twice. And back to pass. Maltos Garcia. He's throwing it down the field. Oh, and intercepted. Across the way. A nice tackle. And I seen a flag fly, I think, by Maltos Garcia.
Well, Hondo had a big tackle. He upended the man who intercepted the pass. And again, the numbers are almost impossible to see, but it was picked off. But I don't know what the flag was all about.
I don't know. Maybe it's just something flying through the air. No, there is a flag.
Do they have illegal tackles in high school? Can you not hit below the knees or above the shoulders?
No, that is called holding against Wiggins. Devin Harshman picked off the pass, and they're going to call holding, but that had to have been, I would think, after the interception because the flag was thrown at the end of the play. So Wiggins should have the football with 4:13 to go in the game, trailing 14-0.
See where they set it down here.
That's where that young quarterback, the young part kind of comes in. I know you want to make a play, but towards the end of the game, it's almost better to take the slide and take the sack rather than...
For about 5 yards to the Tigers.
Yeah, and that's going to go as a pass because he flipped it in front of him, and that's Eric Flores before the Bee Diggers were in on the play, so give Kerr another completion.
If I was the Diggers, I would have at least 2 guys watching number 26 at all times.
Right.
That seems to be the only one who can get anything going against this Digger defense.
Remember Petey Jones stopped 23.
Yeah.
He stopped 20. That's what I want you to do, Petey. Stop 23. And they stopped 23, and the Titans won that first game. This is the first game here, and 26 is the guy who gets it done for Wiggins.
Okay, the fake quarterback keeper. He cuts one way, then the other way. He's got a first down and in the Beat Digger territory down in about the 44-yard line.
That's a heck of a stutter step there for a gain of 8 by Cole Kerr. Yeah, he's learning, but he's had some very impressive runs tonight for Wiggins. And let's see, checking this out. He's up to 51 yards on 13 carries, so not bad.
No scoring here in the second half. Beat Diggers lead at 14-0 with 3:15 on the clock.
Yeah, Wiggins, they need a big play right now. If not, the clock is Brush's friend.
A little motion to the far side. Big rush by the Beat Diggers on a screen. And breaking into the open. And
number 1, Jacob Jensen.
10-yard pickup.
Just shy of the first down, so the clock continues to roll, and that could have been a bigger play. Actually, it could have been a play that went for nothing.
Great call by the coach, I guess, whoever sent that play in. Yeah, they're going to make it a 9-yard.
18 pass attempts for Cole Kerr, the freshman.
Wiggins headed downfield. There's a fadeable pass, pulls it down, and still going. Finally surrounded by Beat Diggers inside the 30-yard line.
Yeah, the Beat Diggers did not tackle well there. He kept ricocheting off of defenders, and he's able to get inside the 30 for a gain of about 8. And this is the deepest penetration for Wiggins in the game, and they need it because they're running out of time. And again, Kerr now with 59 yards unofficially on 14 carries.
What's funny about those 59 yards is most of them have been improvised. They're not designed runs. They're him dropping back to pass and taking off.
Yeah.
Down to about 2 minutes to go in the game. Calling out the signal. Looking to the near side. Low throw. Good tackling by the Beat Diggers.
Boy, nice job there by Yvonne and by Moriarty on that pass out in the right flat. And now Wiggins has to call a timeout.
Sewell also on that thing.
With 1:42 to go.
They didn't fool anybody on that one, did they, John?
It was all over it. 2 guys all over it. Yvonne made the first contact, and then Caden Moriarty the second contact. Let's look at the numbers here briefly. 26, 32, 48, 56, 65, 78 yards. Everything has been, well, I might have missed one there. 97. Oh, that one might have scratched out because of, that was scratched out because penalty. 78 yards on 18 pass attempts. And he's completed virtually everything. He's completed 13 of 18 with 1 interception. But again, only averaging 6 yards a reception on the passes thrown there by Cole Kerr. But they do have a 2nd down and 10 at the Bee Digger 27.
Kerr's going to spread them out. 2 wides to each side. He's back to pass, looking deep. Still looking, throwing it towards the end zone. Cardenas is there, but there's a touchdown for the Tigers. Cardenas wasn't tall enough. The receiver reached over the top and got the ball. Thought Cardenas was in great position, but the Tigers get their first touchdown of the year.
Number 5, Logan Kerr, was the receiver of that touchdown.
But 27 yards away. And all of a sudden, Wiggins is right back in the game.
Yeah, now if you're the Diggers, you got to be thinking either onside kick or, now the game completely changes now that Wiggins were able to score a touchdown.
Yeah, even if they miss the extra point, they're still to within
You're still a
one-score
game, yeah.
Got to see who this left-footed kicker is.
Oh, that'd be Devin Harshman.
Oh, that is Harshman, okay.
Oh, bad snap. Harshman's going to pick it up and power forward. He's a load. I think they're going to keep him out, though.
Yeah, he's a heck of a wrestler, but we'll keep it right here. The Bee Diggers now lead 14-6, and Wiggins has already won the second half unless Brush can score, although they don't need to score. All they need is a first down. If there's an onside kick, which you think there's got to be an onside, because if there's not an onside and Brush runs 3 plays, then at the very least, if Wiggins calls 2 timeouts, we'll be well under a minute to go, and then Brush would have to punt. So you would think that's not going to maximize Wiggins' chances of tying the game.
No.
They're going to have to onside kick it, and then the Bee Diggers have got to muff it. Wiggins has to recover, score a touchdown, and get a 2-point conversion, and they've got to do all that in a span of a minute and 35 seconds. So the Bee Diggers should have their hands team out there. You know, I think it's clear that this 90-minute weather delay or 90-minute halftime might have affected the Bee Diggers more, because they went into halftime with some momentum. They had scored late in the first half on the 21-yard catch by Luke Seawald, and they haven't done much in the second half. And now Wiggins is right back in the game on that 27-yard touchdown pass from Cole Kerr to Logan Kerr. And now Harshman will set the ball on the tee. The Bee Diggers are still on the sideline or near the sideline. But, yeah, I mean, there's no reason to do anything other than onside kick it. Now Brush is going to take a timeout, brought to you by Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance, 842-4555. If you're wondering, well, we're still on the air, it's because of a 90-minute halftime due to a weather delay. And I thought we were going to have another one here in the fourth quarter with the lightning strikes. But, again, there was no accompanying thunder that we heard close by. So even though the lightning was visible, it was not close enough to the area, at least to be affected enough to stop this particular football game, really not for a second time. It wasn't stopped the first time. It was just at halftime the decision was made that they needed to wait, and wait they did.
The weather wasn't.
Oh, excuse me.
No, I'm sorry, but yeah, the weather never really got too bad here in Wiggins. I mean, the lightning bad, but the wind never came, rain never came. It really didn't amount to much.
Devin Harshman's got it teed up.
You have 6 Bee Diggers standing just shy of the 50-yard line waiting for the football, just to pounce on it in case of the onside kick.
Tiger lined up. Harshman going to kick it deep. That should be Cardine. No, that's not Cardine. It's breaking to the right side, out almost to the 50.
It's number 35.
35. That's Ty Griffith, yeah.
It's a heck of a return by Griffith. 34 yards to the 49. And the one thing I like is that he ran it towards the sideline, because you know if they're not onside kicking it, they're going to try to strip him. So use that sideline as a defender, and in case the ball is stripped, then it's got a good chance of going out of bounds.
Bee Digger's young in a lot of places. Ty's just a freshman.
Yep.
That's a big job on his shoulders there.
And they're stacked with talented sophomores. So here we go. Wiggins is going to use 2 timeouts at some point, but if Brush gets a first down, the game is over.
Garcia under center is a big rush, and sidestepping it as well, and he's going to be across the 50 down to the 44.
Hondo was getting hit as he handed the ball off.
Wiggins brought everything but the kitchen sink there, really. They had 2 rushers coming up in the middle before Hondo was almost all turned around.
Wellen gained 6. His 19th carry unofficially of the game for 79 yards. Let's see, I'll count there.
That stopped the clock at 1:19 to go in the game.
Well, if they run it again in that same area and it doesn't work, I said bootleg on 3rd down. I mean, the bootleg, they've had bootlegs at 9 yards, 51 yards, and there was another one that went fairly sizable as well. Not of that magnitude, but I say, utilize that bootleg because
stretch run to the left.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that
most importantly, just keep it in bounds. Keep it in bounds and hold on to the ball.
Down to a minute 19 to go. Wiggins with 1 timeout remaining.
Okay, we're set to go. Garcia under center, hands it to Wellen. He's going to have the first down we needed.
But what a stutter step. I mean, a beautiful stutter step at the 44. Then was able to pull his way for another 4 yards, a gain of 5. And Wellen now at 83 yards in the game on unofficially his 20th carry at the 40. So now all the Bee Diggers have got to do is take a knee. Yeah, don't even run the ball. I mean, if you got to get into victory formation here.
Clock's still winding, 56 seconds.
Well, and they won't even, unless they call a timeout. If they're in the huddle that long, they might just call a timeout. But Hondo is now getting the play in, and there's the play. Lynchwin is going to call a timeout. Not calling it? Yeah, there he is. He called a timeout at the very last second. Brought to you by Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance. They can help you with all of your insurance needs. Greg Mullen at State Farm Insurance, 842-4555. They're there to make the insurance world easy for you. I was in the insurance industry for 10 years, so it's nice when you have Greg Mullen there at State Farm to help you along the way. Bee Diggers with a 14-6 lead, 39 seconds to go. You take a knee, maybe a second, and you win your first game of the year, but Wiggins certainly came out and played a good second half. And I think it's safe to say that if Brush does not play significantly better next week against Fort Morgan, they're not going to be able to win that game. Fort Morgan's deeper, they're bigger, they're stronger, and they're faster. Bee Diggers have got to improve upon this 8-point victory here in Wiggins.
Okay, we're set to go. Cut the safety back deep. Altos Garcia is just going to kneel down. Clock will wind again.
And you mentioned, Tyler, he didn't have a high completion percentage, but, man, he threw one heck of a pass when he needed to. Now, can you imagine what that would have been with a 7-6 game and going for that extra point?
Yeah. I can't think of the term now, but that makes all the difference right there.
Actually, it wouldn't have been a 7. It would have been 6-6.
It would have been a 6-6 game.
We'd be looking at a tie game.
Yeah, because they did not convert the extra point on that first touchdown. You're right.
Well, the Bee Diggers do not have to snap the football again, so they have won this game in Wiggins to open up the 2019 season. It's a 2-minute break. The final score: Brush 14, Wiggins 6 on the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Bee Digger post-game show is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center, a proud supporter of all the area athletes. They'll serve you with all your home, farm, and ranch supplies with 3 locations, Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan. John Beltran with Rob Hastings, Tyler Carmen, Evan James on the field. The Bee Diggers defeat the Wiggins Tigers 14-6, a 2-yard touchdown run by Nick Wellen, and then a 21-yard touchdown pass by Hondo Maltos Garcia to Luke Sewall. That was in the second quarter. And then late in the game, a 27-yarder from Cole Kerr to Logan Kerr. The extra point was no good. And the Bee Diggers did just enough. They picked up about 236 yards in the ground, 83 of those on 20 carries unofficially from Nick Wellen. Hondo did struggle through the air, 3 of 11 for 50 yards, but did have the touchdown pass also through an interception. Yeah, Cole Kerr threw 20 passes and unofficially completed 14 for 105 yards. They had, 71 yards in the ground, 176 yards of total offense, all unofficial. And, the one thing we know, Rob, is that the Bee Diggers still, they've got to clean up the penalties. And it was the same penalty that they committed probably 6 or 7 times.
I think they cleaned it up in the second half. Didn't have any.
Yeah, I think they had 1 maybe. I mean, it was a little bit better than they had in the opening half. But like I was saying, Tyler, if they don't play better next week against Fort Morgan, it could be a long game for them. Again, it's game number 1, but Fort Morgan's a different beast altogether than Wiggins.
Yeah, you talk about jumping from 1A up to 3A. Yeah, that's a very different beast. And Morgan's going to be amped up for it. I know they view Brush maybe as like the younger brother, and they want to come in and beat up on him. So Brush is definitely going to have to bring a better game next week.
Well, Brush had a winning streak for quite a few years against Fort Morgan, but now Fort Morgan has won the last 5 matchups in that series, starting in 2015, which was the year after Brush won the 2A state title, and then all 4 matchups have not been close. They've all been one-sided games. So the Bee Diggers are going to have to play a little bit better, certainly a lot better. But again, when you have a brand new offensive line, it's expected that you're going to make those miscues. So there is no substitute. It doesn't matter whether it's sports or anything else. There's no substitute for experience. And the Bee Diggers will hopefully gain from this particular experience and play an even better game next week against the Wiggins Tigers. We remind you that we'll have today's game uploaded as shortly as possible. We'll do that on our Facebook page, 1010 KSIR Sports, and on Twitter at KSIR Sports. You can tune in next Friday to 1010 Preps and More from 1 to 2, and I will speak with the head coach of the Bee Diggers, Len Schwint. I'm sure we all want to get out of here. There's more lightning strikes tonight, so it's certainly been a very busy Friday night. Sound engineer and producer of Brush Bee Digger Football has been Herrick Curtis, Evan James, Tyler Carmen, and Rob Hastings. I'm John Beltran. The final score as the Bee Digger postgame show brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center. The Bee Diggers defeat the Wiggins Tigers 14-6 on the Eastern Plains Sports Network.